So we're going to go through rolling over players in Salesforce and adding some new players. First, you're going to go to salesforce.com, and this is the page you'll get. You're going to log in. You'll be provided a Salesforce login and password that will be unique to your site. All of your coaches will use this same password to enter attendance. It's this login that you will use. This is not it. So when you log in, it will look a little bit different than this. I have access to all of our site information. You will only have access to your site information. But what we're going to do first is you'll go in to create some new data entry groups for this season. So we're going to go click on data entry group. I'm going to click new. You'll see all these things here. These are because I can't have access to all the sites, but what you will see is just your site's past teams. So you're going to click new. You will enter your data entry group name, which is going to be your site name. So in this example, we'll make it Kenton. Plus your grade level, which is K1 in this example, and then the season, so fall 2014. The site, Kenton Elementary. This is how we use the search tool, so site lookup. It's looking up Kenton, it's going to pull up Kenton Elementary School, and click there. Sessions will always be 36. Season is fall 2014. Again, I can use the lookup. It's only going to pull up fall 2014. Kenton's start date, I know, is September 9th. And their end date is December 18th. And then I would click Save and New to move on to the next data entry group. You'll enter all of your data entry groups this way. And then once you've entered your last one, you'll just click Save. I'm not going to click Save because I'm not going to mess up Kenton's groups. So now we're going to place players on teams, so into these data entry groups. First, we're going to roll data for players who have previously participated in Soccer for Success into this new season. So this is only relevant to site coordinators who are site coordinating at sites that have run Soccer for Success in the past. If you have not run Soccer for Success in the past, this method will not be relevant to you for this season. But what we're going to do to roll players over from past seasons is click players, and then we're going to click create new view. We're going to do a list view. We're going to create a new view name. So we're going to use Kenton as our example again. So in this example, we're going to do Kenton K1. We want it to be spring 2014. In my filters, I want to make sure that here I've selected all players, and then down here in fields, I want to select grade. So here I want to select grade. I want to select site. Select site, and I want to select data entry group. And instead of equals, I'm going to click contains. And then I'm going to click the values. So in this example, I'm doing kindergarten and first grade. If I was just looking for the kindergartners, I would just put in kindergarten. We want to make sure that we're separating grades with commas here. And the second row, we're going to enter the site name. So this is Kenton. And then the data entry group here is going to be Spring 2014, because it's just going to contain Spring 2014. All right, and then we're going to move down here. Over here, we're going to find data entry group and add it to the selected fields under player name. And then we want to make sure it's visible only to me, and I'm going to click Save. After I click Save, I'm going to see this screen that shows me all the kids that were on the Kenton K1 Spring 2014 roster. So if I know that Crystal and Guillermo and Israel and Juan and Kenai are all going to be on my team again this fall, I check their little boxes, and then I come over here because I'm changing their data entry group, and I find this little pencil. I double click the pencil, and then I want to make sure that I check all 5 selected records here, and I'm going to change their data entry group to Kenton K-1 Fall 2014. We want to make sure that you get the same one. And it's not there because I didn't create it this time. But when you've created it, if I look at Kenton, these are all my options for all the player groups that have ever been created. So once you've created your player groups, it will be in there. So you'll be able to click Save once that's correct, and then all of these will switch over to Fall 2014. And you will not have to do anything else to roll those kids over. If you know that you had a kid or a participant in the system somewhere but you're not sure what season or what team they participated, you can search for them up here. So if you know that Itzel Garcia participated previously and you have a registration packet from them, type their name up there. They'll pull up here, and you'll be able to pull up their whole profile and scroll over until you get to their data entry group. And you'll just double click here. You'll be able to put in their new Kenton K-1 Fall 2014 group and click Save. I just recycled that because I don't actually have a Fall 2014 group yet, but that would be how we transfer them over if you want to do it one player at a time. So feel free to do that if you're only doing one player, but if you're doing multiple players, I suggest the list view if you're doing multiple players from a single past team. So now I'll talk a little bit about adding new players who've never participated in Soccer for Success before. So when you get their registration packet, you'll come into Salesforce and you'll click Players from the toolbar at the top. And instead of clicking New View, like you may have done last time if you were a site coordinator at an old site, this time you'll click New to enter a new player. And it's going to bring you to this page where you'll enter all the player information from that first page. So you'll start entering the player name, so it might be Paolo Lopez at Kenton Elementary. We don't need to put in the school, we just need to put in the site. The data entry group is Kenton K1 Fall 2014. Again, if you need to use your search tool, you can use that for your data entry groups. He's in grade 1. That should be indicated on the first page of his registration form. And his player ID number is his student number, which is also on the front page of his registration packet. This should be a 6-digit number, I believe. Demographic information, we need to make sure we have his gender and his date of birth is really important. So we want to make sure that we have that. We'd also these are important things to make sure that we have as well. the more data we can collect on all of our participants, the better. So please encourage your families to fill all this out. Then you're going to move on to guardian information, which is found on the next page. So she might, blah, 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 blah. So you'll go ahead and continue to fill that out. Relationship to player, parent, is she in the military? No. Is she interested in volunteering? Yes. You may want to take note of this and keep a list of the parents who are interested in volunteering, so you know if you can ask parents to help with snack or help set up fields or help with childcare at Cooking Matters classes or anything like that. But it's always nice to know that you have people that are interested in getting involved, and then you can reach out. So take note of that as you're entering that, and then please take note of this question: children younger than 5 in the household. That's for our Cooking Matters partner, so that they can better target our families. This is not something we need to worry about because we're not part of the OJJDP evaluation, and then season information will populate on its own. So it's also not something you have to worry about. Then you just click Save and New. I'm going to click Cancel in this example. So my other option is, if I don't want to register players one at a time, is to click on my site. So in this case, I was looking at Kenton, and I can click Register Players here. And this will give me the opportunity to register multiple players at a time. So I can do player name and then date of birth, and we'll go across this way, and then down for as many players as you have. Again, you want to make sure you have done your data entry groups and stuff ahead of time so that you can put them into those, and it'll be a little bit easier. Sometimes I think Salesforce doesn't work quite as well as we want it to, and things like this don't save. So when we're doing attendance or entering data, once you get a ways into this, depending on the browser you're using, or we haven't quite figured out exactly what it is, but we've had some coaches come back and say that all of a sudden something isn't saving. So test this out, see if it works for you. If it does, that's great, and it can be a really great tool. If it doesn't, be wary of that, and maybe entering them one at a time is an okay option for you. If you have any questions about this stuff, you have your procedures manual has step-by-step guides for entering students on a rollover basis and entering students with the search method and the list method through the rollover basis, and then entering new players. This registering all the players together is not in there, but should be pretty clear from just clicking on your site. And then if you have any additional questions, you can always email me, and Salesforce does a good job of putting together their own videos as well. So you can come up here to this toolbar and click on SfS training videos, and they put together their own training videos that will walk you through an overview of the system, registering players, entering data, creating and using list views, registering list views for player groupings, and that kind of stuff. You'll never be using reports or dashboards, and you actually may not even be able to see those training videos. But these other training videos are really good ones, and I certainly encourage you to use them. Once you have created players in your data entry groups, you want to make sure that your site, you've registered your players, you've looked at your groups. Let's pretend this is Kenton Fall 2014, and I always want to make sure that after I've created my players, I'm creating my player data as well. So I want to make sure that I click this Create Player Data button, so that down here all of this stuff will pull up, and so that I can start tracking their attendance, I can start tracking their data collection points and all of that, so that anytime a player is put into the system, they're given a data ID number and that sort of thing. It's kind of a funky thing. I'm not sure why it doesn't just automatically update, but for some reason we have to click that button. So anytime you enter any player, make sure you come back to the player group and click that Create Player Data button. You can't click it too many times. And that's it for entering players and registering them in Salesforce. Once you've done that for all your teams and all your player groups, you should be all set. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to Haley at rapid2soccer.org. Again, you have all the stuff and step-by-step instructions in your administrative procedures guide, but I'm always happy to answer questions.